action, in the desire for true love. The lack of the name is actually with us. We can do her anger. We build a body with one heart, different parts of the body. And part of this body I want to feel parts, feel the joy, the pain of it. From this, we build a home. They are our first, each other. We have such an environment where we learn how to love each other. Article 1, Part 2. Without cancelling egoistic love, it is impossible to come to communion with the Creator, that is, to likeness. Let's ask the Creator together so that He helps us see the dignity of our friends. Self 2. Hatshek. Hey, hello. In the first part of the lesson, we will learn from a lesson by Rabbi Laitman of the Har Sulam, from which we will read the article Mari 46. Article about Israel's control over the Kelpites. The issue of Israel over the Caliphate and vice versa. The control of the Caliphate over Israel. And first we need to understand what the nations of the world are called from their perspective on Israel. From the perspective of them and the dominion of Israel, we call it Belmanat Larshi, meaning only in the scapulars, and we will move on to the lesson. We will read again the article on the dominion of Israel on the scapulars, and in several places it is explained as a tool capable of working to influence and the nations of the world, all of them suckling, and the dominion of the nations, which from the perspective of the language of the servants of God, Israel is called Shahad and Ahad to work with the owner, meaning only in the scapulars, when they are only in terms of a question for the workshop. Let's talk about the article now for 8 minutes, please. Yes, apparently it's about the bark leaves. A. Choice for the 9th. Yes, A. Question. How do we get to the control? It's only in our environment. Where is peace? With the help of the creators, we ask, talking about Israel's control over the nations of the world, the 2 outer laws. We move to the chef in simplicity, the goal for Israel's victory. Why is the article very clear? Questions also come with it. We call it the wisdom of the fathers, saying, well, apparently, the Creator develops man like this. He needs it. The Kabbalists say that the virtue of correction is Torah and commandments. Friends, we are sorry. We had a problem. Hello, we are studying my articles. I heard. Let's start finding our website or its system. Send it to us. Just let's read. They are very significant. Slowly, that is, gradually, we will know the lessons of life, and things take place. Therefore, we see according to everything that Shabbat is the first, where gap between the e's, that is, revealed. It is revealed where we are, until for us to get closer to discover. This is what we are called. It is called, so we also call it control. Who controls the e's? Understand. These, maybe we understand correctly what is happening to us. The Creator, the relationships that we constantly impose on everything. The Creator helps us. What is the effect of the Creator? Called, come call I heard Israel's rule over the shells. I heard 46. Israel's rule. Domination over the domination of is over. Places come. Capable and nations of the world called the externality of the world, and that they are the light, and Israel's rule is called to change that they continue as I mean we have they are the first man, and the correction of the upper light, after, not, form, as much as feels, awaken, in that they want to get closer how a pig to die, to it can according to the false, they need the Elosa, the correction depends on the beginning, slowly parts, they reveal themselves, intentions in order to influence this is called, is, stage, man all are, one that is, back that they are them, according to, once all, begins put survive, begin everything, depends and, in this so we can see, these parts that descend, in this process, they understand what is happening to them, so they do not know what is, without the knowledge of the knowledge we were called, acquire in the difference between you, then, so we actually acquire, detail and connection of our femininity and from the dawn, so, to move forward with it, and the beacon of the tools, enter the stage of the swelling group and must build already such a world, Israel, the light of the lion on, and therefore die towards the light, that are not yet capable there, and therefore are still called the nations of the world. Request Oren you heard, and the rule of Israel over the skins. My name 46 domination is over, the domination is over, and domination. Understand where this comes from. The vessels of the first blood, the first, the general vessel that the Creator created in him. 10 generations. Adam, the first Adam. Another 10 generations, Mano. 20 generations. There were already inquiries in Babylon to understand that all of them. Then all this again interfered. Again, the need to start the correction. Big complete that. They were the mouth. And then the inquiry began. The inquiry. There was therefore here. Of what? And, unless I will encounter a hot struggle to discover that there is a will among you, must among you already, yourselves, at least, there for all Israel friends. Certainly, it is a fulfillment that he has, and therefore there's a matter of control here. And this is why there's a matter of the control of the vessels of upon the vessels of reception, or the contour of the vessels. Is contradiction between them. Through history struggle, Abraham he became more than a vessel together and continued to receive, but in something to influence. From their nature on there they expect Abraham to the nose to the power that distinguishes the nation. Power of influence in place. And so this is the difference. Black bursts, the goddess must in the battle of hello, always the goddess connects everyone, that there is no choice of the world, of the ego, that we are not born to rise and go to the level, looking at everything through. So, Pine let's call the matter of the rule of Israel, Israel on the shells, and yes we need to understand, and how to accept, broken, fight with each other. And first we need to understand what the matter of Israel is, and what is its source. Everyone. But there are those who feel, there are those who do not feel. But it is until one wakes up, the feeling of the connection, life. Where is there of? First we need to understand what the matter of Israel is, and what are there. Those in which tools are already awakening, and there are those who are less, which is an intention in order to receive for, and there is a part that to know. Each and every one of them, that is already awakening to them. Very, very much. That means in every situation, there are those who know it is certainty. So, we are. In the Talmud lesson 10 Sephirot we read. In the book Talmud 10 Sephirot Karach 1 part 1 page 7 message page 7 we are in the chapter A, with the letter D. We will begin with the letter D. How did the space that remained after the reduction become round? And then there remained a free space and air, and empty space from a real middle point. And here this reduction was in one comparison, around the middle point, only in such a way that the place of that space, a complete comparison, was a square with a right angle, since even infinity itself, in terms of a circle, in one comparison, the interpretation of an internal light that surrounds the sphere from all its surroundings, is made here. The form is indeed a form after the reduction, the departure of the light from that middle point. Then it was Nogar, which was this vessel of the fact that its middle left was a free space, and is not worthy of the light's arrival in the gardens of the code, and in their end, the light is not worthy, even after the reduction. And with all this we explain to God that it is not made into an end. He says, literally, but like a builder in a way that it has sacrifices, crosses, and the same circles, and the same circles, and in this way there is no examination above them. For example, the first half is a circle above all of them, half is a circle below, Mr. Examinations, and if so there is no up and down here. Right from this it is all that, and the reason has already been explained, that the reason for the reduction is there the best. This is from all its surroundings in complete comparison. This is what writes to us. From this we can only this, the form of the letter of the word of the Ari title, according to the light gathered, was a reduction. The reason that since the light of the infinite was also proven itself in the name, from all sides, and not from one side, and known in the wisdom of the mind, so equal, if so in the image of many commandments, and so always forgets is to be that the light jumps straight to the letter of the name of the circle. These preparations, the letter explains the image of the triangle, teaches that there are between it right and left sides, and the missing side is called the image of the dwelling. Yes, David, Rabbi, what are all these forms? These in the Linnet. You see that all these things are, they explain something, a little something. Everything that is written seems, yes, being. Please, Peter Tekver, Rabbi. He writes here that the reduction is revealed in comparison, and from the side, yes, because of the Kabbalah, that one second reduces you middle. What so? What does it mean? Yes, precisely because of the Kabbalah, that is in, as if he is saying two opposite things together, also in week 1, and therefore he says that everything was in a circle. Let's see chapter 2 here is not finished yet, explains what from the light of infinity blessed, happy. We will continue to the letter A. From infinity continued a line of light into the Nelen Asher free space here. There was already a place, and those who are made from Oz from the light in that space, inner light to the letter A in 1, explains what then remained a place space. Do not let think that effect Y in addition in A way is, as it was in secret, and its name is the word of the reduction that is made sun, and remained Mac on a road, and in place of that space they were made, yes, spoon. That's also a question about abbreviation here, and this reduction is because of the desires of the world, or because of the desires of the self, between the light and everything, the light of the desire to receive, the desire to influence from our spirit. We learn what happens to them, how the duration of the cold. We will talk more about Peter Tikver, Gilad, yes, a great, some kind of reality, which also exists, which he calls a new essence, in that there is one that has disappeared, but there is nothing in spirituality. This thing is especially important. You may have wanted to continue. Yes, thank you. Good morning. Good morning, friends. In the introduction, he makes a distinction in the created being in 4 categories. He speaks about emanating beings, created beings, formed beings, and made beings. What are these in created being? In the introduction, there is a distinction here between 4 types: the lazy, the created, the produced, and the done. Yes, the friend asks what this distinction is. What is the difference between the created and the created? Forgiveness of the lazy, the created, the produced, and the made. It depends on how much the supreme influences the will in which there is. This question is about the reduction. The reduction occurred on the same basis. After we were in the clitoris, we could not talk about anything else. We talked, yes, that the reduction occurred not from the outside. The reduction was in the same proportion. The light departs from the center of the common for all, on the action of some other, and we will depart from, because you have no fulfillment, because he is blessed, not with a change case. As it is written, I am being not a year, and even though it is not spoken of except only in the light of the Lord, because he is not blessed, but he is a rest who undertakes to be here, no matter how much, because only then does he come out of the totality of the closed, from which we have distinguished that all the innovation is poor in the externality to receive the lazy, that this will is spiritual from everywhere, and Dehira practices in the beginning that we're yes in the light at we clothed in, because from its power it was created, and from everywhere the matter of the word in terms of what everything is divided. Yes, and you will know that all the innovations, because this alone receives, is found in the 8th of the most rest. In them this is well, and remember this in the continuation of all the study with wisdom. You will not cease the lazy ones, God forbid, but it is in its absolute mean, in all the matter of the reduction in the middle point, interpretation, even though the upper light did not cease from awakening itself to receive, not to receive a real middle point, but only in those that are found in which the well controls in such a way that the light is generally his way, but just like the one who shines in infinity shines, even during the scales. We are all in the world, without any interruption, but the instruments themselves, all the things that are placed on them, because they do not receive, according to our measure, the measure of the desire to receive. That is, we are not yet talking about their being some instrument, from above, you will understand what the rabbi said with the instrument that was emptied for the continuation of the desire to receive, its destruction in the amount of its previous reception, the entire place, the desire to receive, the order of their reception, but one of all the places, the instrument remains empty and free from the light, because this thin light that you receive is not enough, empty and light has not stopped, has not changed at all, this great change in the two, Kodahino, because it will not want more than the measure. Yes, we have. 24. What is the role? What is the function of the tool? Because from the fact that all innovations and cases are just entertainment, after, what is it worth changing? Equine. It turns out that, after reducing the number of races to 10 under the condition that this is revealed between friends, it will not lead trying to experience or increasingly feel some properties for us to force through restriction. How or what can we learn from this example of the influence of the upper light through restriction? We can learn from it in order to eliminate the situations. This is what can be said for now. Petach Tikvaraf writes that this reduction is a juice that is hidden from us in us. Let's say yes. I ask this because in general, in everything we go through, the power of my examination is felt only at the end of the correction. Kiev. If, thanks, I write Bam again here that all the questions discussed here about the reduction speak exclusively about the level of perception of the reception. This is what he writes to us here. This comprehends the height, consists of two opposite desires. And what for our desire? Shreet, I heard now that you said we have to do it. We haven't started. How do we work? We accustom ourselves to working. During the lessons, ourselves, spiritual exams, we will go over everything that will be clear. PT5. Good morning, Rabbi. Friends, I have a question about internal work between us. Is reduction as an agreement? Yes, there is something in that. Can we continue? Yes. How do the members of the Ashariya come from that point? You are the ones who are building it so that the light of the connection that is being extended. Yes, thank you. Florida. Pressure. Does the vessel in test D feel pressure to receive the light through the line? Yes, tool feels that brings unity from home. Good morning, Raf. You answered now that the fourth is not hidden from us. We are working with the calculation in the third step, the fourth stage, to transform it into what? Only the first three. How to consider it better, then consider it further. The text question is, the will is, determines what the light that came up with was made from above by the Creator. Put it on it. Learn why I ask. The question is called his simple yes, it is written. Because he wanted to create everything. The worlds are. Okay, wait. It could be that we were given a place. We fix this as we go. Fatark. No, hollow. Oh, it is possible to say that after the reduction created the space from the previous spheres, these solids are souls. Remains a list of previous ones. Yes. It is as if experiments. Okay. We are learning everything in this concept of the interaction of light and a wedge, and how it is related. You will understand. We will not miss anything. Therefore, in terms of this examination, the great will to receive is revealed after, and therefore, we have nothing to do against the examination of receiving in the examination of the first root. But this is not called acceptance in order to bestow. These are precisely a corner we need. What comes, and this acceptance will be a blessing. We have, good morning, dear beloved Rav, world, glue, Diravjani, which the Creator made in relation to the creation, the property of giving, makes in relation to us. In relation to the Creator, we will make a reduction in relation to Hen, such an action, a dear paradise, to make the Creator happy and to make it, in the group, simply, yes, dear teacher, here is the spread of the world after the reduction. It is in the form of lines, and in accordance with the measure. What does the desire depend on? This needs to be weighed. This needs to be evaluated. We can work with it. Björn Gino Caro, Wistrasina el expansion, Charlus e. Vaso mai far penser ad un respiro spiritual. E grav correcto e cum noi debimo sentirlo. Graze are, like the spiritual breath, for this is a desire that we will connect in my eyes that is hidden from him. We can lead him. PT 33. Thank you very much. I heard that you said that in their work, then change, and on the other hand, we did not finish that. He gives everything, and as a matter of fact, besides that, a little more. You have goodwill, I am sure. Woman PT 23. WT. Thank you very much. Yes, it is written in the passage that the instrument receives. The instrument receives according to the degree of my will, because we are an attitude that will help us learn to speak it. All comes to increase. You said that we are going to achieve the point of contact to be connected together, all of us, among everyone, that it will pass through us to all. Through this action, we will connect. Peter Tickfer, my father, thank you very much. He is talking here about the light that affected our instruments. We, the instrument. This is to pray from the Moors. It is called that we, our children, clarify there and raise it above us and want to get closer to the common heart within. Why is he saying that this is actually all the work that is happening? What is the meaning of? I don't know where you read that it is aimed at ours. Yes, feel the difference. No, we're getting closer to wanting to give. Boschlagun dares almost in bism. Thalishmes. The square is a triangle to speak and learn the most correct round all the qualities of will within the creatures, and returns between them, and therefore of the reduction, so in their actions. Will we in this? Tell me at I must finish. Why uncles? Our day Talmud 10. We are now going to work with the books of the company, so we will start by reading the article, and then we are in the writings of Ravshit Ash. We Rush Karacha, page 29n. Importance that a person is found to have no soft work and vice versa. They are always in tune with those who have the religion of truth, because the thoughts of people, this in this is found the demon of the opponents. Enter those who have a little sect in. Therefore there is no other advice, there is no company. That is a separate matter. They come up with different opinions. Every time they need to awaken society, they are drawn to it. Yes, it is nature. Because if society isolates itself, it is no holiday with them. They are not for reason that they do not have any affairs. Yes, that a person begins to talk and talk, then he immediately dies and falls below the threshold of recognition to know that this is him. But what are these people? This is in the affairs of her work. Other people need to be examined. Because the way to truth is to oppose the world's opinion. Knowledge is faith. If a person is distracted from this, he forgets about it and falls into the world. And only society examines one of the society's members. The Zohar is a person who sits and cannot succeed in Torah, changing place. In place of those who have Torah, those who have its commandments are called a tree, the tree of life. Because it is not the same place that the Torah and their commandments are after a righteous man in the Torah and their commandments that the Zohar suffers. One must stay away from bad environments, which are the true way, so that he will not be drawn to them, and this is called by grace. In thoughts of an influence, that is a form of love. This is called the Holy One. Blessed be he and his own authority. And in this we understand what Judah the great Adam said when it was said, and the Lord called the man. And this is the name of the work of the power of Joseph, and this is his language. Your heart, not to be confused with all this matter. You say that it was a subject of observation and not the thesis, but the work of God, its affairs, work. Then this is the matter of the GD that we need to go through, and he took everything. And this is the matter of what he said, not to be confused with could receive the Neset, Manasseh received eating that the heart wants only to mark the sin of the tree of judgment. This is to tell the explanation of this. We will understand the Torah society differently. Thank you, Joshua. Joshua. This is how our narrowings turned today, so we have a lot of them very relevant. A rabbi is talking here about the matter of a community of the Tev. We thought it would be good if we clarified them for ourselves. Put them. So now we will read again 2 paragraphs. Paragraph, third paragraph. Second and third. Therefore there is no other advice. Yes, second. Yes, paragraph, second and third, Joshua. Paragraph, third. Therefore there is no other advice. That they have a framework, which is a matter of a community that separates people who have them, and every time they either matter of the purpose of the house, because yes, after the majority, because if society is enlightened, these are spiritual matters, but in matters that are not they interfere. They have no connection in matters of religion. Okay, so we see that you have broken up on your own. Our question is a community. You have separated. You can see these pauses. Let's discuss together the name. A district community, where we are all teachers in a lot of communities. It is not clear what a community is. There is such a thing as we join families and talk about spiritual things. Maybe it means the external environment of Bnei Baruch, which is influenced by religious people, and this can be a little confusing. We live as if in our own world. We are constantly after class. Now we go to work to be with everything. These are external. It is not clear here. It seems that in the end he is talking about some kind of internal separation, that a person follows what he follows. His heart follows him quickly, and not to interfere with external communities. This is also an issue that is in you. Always remember the goal. It is certainly going on with us. So, then a separate community is what we need. This is actually what we are trying to do. Simply a place that reminds us of the connection that we make during the day, as if we want to be mixed in our internalities. In the end, it has to be done internally. First of all, we can help externally. Yes, a separate community. What I understand is a community where will of Israel. What we learned in the article is the will there, our desires. To realize the Jewish will small for us as a gift, that there will be everything that this will hand, and not faith in the influence of a real community of Netchin that is redeemed. He calls the Zainim of their high values in man, these of their Samsamot, and what is the inner desire that then to distinguish from mortar. No problem to curse that there is in man to reduce material desires. Ravash tells us that there is no yes, and therefore that which goes against the and also the majority in my heart, and therefore this is the importance. Yes, and also Niv adds that Ravash writes in spiritual water, but all contact with yes, as if Ravash says in matters of rains. Erika ate from the road. So then in my children, Bell, what he says here, from this we will understand. Work every time to language from the external environment. We are in such a base. All fish think about spirituality. We will keep it. We will be together. Question: how do we do the wound in our community? How do we say only in this circle? Even more than that, in the end you need to make a correction in the whole world and on all the world on this matter, that it is in the possession, not in the public domain. We will soon see clip number 3. Also, this of ours, let's see please that people's responsibilities interference with each other in interaction hits. Sim to say that means there is my fiction about them being connected, at least how it is. Great, because between us in the group there is a connection with our friends, people that we go out to explain to them what it is. Maybe connect with us. Yes, there is no problem there. You can then buzz what is happening and encounter different content outside, as if not accepting with any urgency, really nothing what the name alone determined it. Could be that I am someone's things that are happening in the world, what it is about, but can't enter you, as he says here. Their thoughts start doing myself. I put myself on, being that they are they. Accept their opinions. Acceptance accepts the opinions of. I have no problem here. So we want to define a little more in the ways of the name. Please, what is not yes that a person is commanded to argue, so their opinions can understand and selves, but these are in matters of work of the way of truth, solitude. The way of truth is something that should be the world, is knowledge and acceptance the Torah, in the name of the Lord. A person distracts from this the gold of the way and the world of love. Company in terms of a person, so receives strength. Yes, so now we want to go to the workshop 5 minutes and discuss the question of society, exhausting the, as he writes to us here in the last paragraph that we read. Only society in terms of man will see, then receive all. Fight. So our question, what will help is this society that receives the money and influence and strengthening and the strength to overcome is a society that worked very hard. But what is the left line? Both to the middle, even the same words, but intention. Intention to receive, and it is very necessary to it. It is written that here the whole world, in our acceptance contracts, between us the faith, the goal, that the way of truth is very much the way of truth only according to the knowledge. With the help of you will help each other with excuses the Creator to do something for the good, according to these suitable, that it is really to fulfill the commandments. Duck. One of society power, what is it, and for what do we need society? Because it is written that he forgets ropes. If the question is how we help second, then it is written here that our way is not simple, that we do this way actually contradicts the whole world. A person distracts from it immediately, he lies a world of love, and he writes that the person does not even understand it, he does not even feel against. Yes, and the way of truth is that faith and influence is, we say, it is power, and only when a person comes out in connection and in the feeling of them can be done in a very internal environment and very returned to each other to our power we receive to against. If we connected to this great power, guys, the Father, yes, friends, who really special explanations in the whole world. We are our bulls left to us now. We want to make a world, so high society against the world opinion. Syria minutes a little the rhythm that everyone in her city needs. A rabbi said that we need to hold ourselves, not because of pride, because of acceptance and the poor between us connection. We need to start from the assumption that we are a tool in which our private desires you center the forces, our nature we as if the power. This power according to the tax. Yes, so we accept it even now that we curse on the one hand that it is really we are actually consuming the field of to use this field which we are actually measured by how we are on the surface. To strengthen this field is that it is as if much more difficult, as if here a builder of the help of the writers, that our goal that we can be together among us only to influence the Creator, and then the author is the tool we with the light thereby which we receive we their changes can interfere with us. Connection and cancellation. First of all, cancellation, to jump to look for a person. Yes, really not simple things. What actually we do not manage to isolate ourselves, otherwise we will read 2 more paragraphs and then we will do more clarification on this. And so we found in the words of the Zohar that the one who sits comes to fulfill, succeeds in the Torah, and is empty of people with wooden mitzvot himself, wicked that he cannot Torah and mitzvot after Torah and mitzvot. So in order to succeed in the Torah and mitzvot, what is it called himself from a place where there are righteous people in life? Maybe our society, what is it may be internally only, it means himself, that there can be mentioned cases that happen to you. Please, what is it to succeed in the Torah and mitzvot or in her society? This and all the righteous to receive at every moment. Friends, from the first place to talk be, need to come to her prison, give myself there, everything I need, try to melt, and to be, first of all need to, our minds, we learned, aspiration that the thoughts of a person, ours, to be outside of this. Yes, there are many layers here that we can talk about in general, also about the article, but certainly, this person needs, even on a quantitative level, try to be, ours, our environment, it is also the books, as we know the family, it is natural if it is not in the right order and subdues the more we risk the connection. Physically, even. This is our effort to insert ourselves even more and even more, confusing it into the mind. The problem is that I'm not the owner of my own mind. Our hearts are also drawn to the actions we take. Well, inasmuch as we heard in all parts of the lesson, a man named Bedag, your prayer, made possible even more and more forces. He talks about the fact that we are a barrier to receiving, explaining to do it to correct the desires that are given. Very important to attract very much from. We cannot correct it. That we need to be in thought and prayer that we can hold on to. How much longer there is in the heart, that there is such an environment that to get out of that which is lost and returning to you teaches you to love together, a greater gift than that in the present world. Yes, you really need to let yourself go. With the help of God, I hope that they are all righteous to return to their form. Yes, friends, and now we want to see the fields. If we want, then we need to clear the field of everything after our plans. The right grandparents, this is how it is. This is how we are in life. I want my child to grow up in a certain style, so I'm looking for you and so on, and this is how we do the same here with us. We are in a plan to grow ourselves as well, ours a certain way, so we are actually called preparing the side